Men are not okay. They have fewer friends, no romantic relationships, are dropping out of college, struggling financially, and facing an epidemic of loneliness that nobody seems to care about. And the people who do care seem like they just want to sell them something or recruit them for political movements. New studies show that young men are more lonely and single than ever before. The percentage of men who reported having at least 6 close friendships fell by half since the 1990s. 1 in 5 men now say they have no close friendships at all. But here's the thing, it's not just men. Women are projected to be 45% single and childless by 2030. This isn't empowering. This shows something is fundamentally broken in our society. So why is this happening? And more importantly, what can actually be done about it? The technology problem. Research shows that people from individualist countries show a greater sense of loneliness, linked to socioeconomic development, increased education, urbanization, and the shift toward white-collar jobs. But the biggest culprit? Technology and social media. Why go to the mall when you can order everything online? Why hang out with friends when you can get all your social interaction from online communities? Why go on dates when you can just consume endless content that gives you instant dopamine hits? Technology makes things easier, but it also makes us more isolated and atomized. Look at Japan. They have an entire movement called the hikikomori, mostly young men who completely withdraw from society, secluding themselves in their rooms for months or years. In 2010, there were an estimated 700,000. Today, it's over 1.5 million. Japan's population has been in sharp decline since 2011 because people aren't connecting anymore. If you want to see America's future, look at Japan. Dating apps broke everything. Dating apps have completely warped how men and women interact. The commodification of love and the window shopping nature of these apps has created unrealistic expectations on both sides. Women have always been pickier. They're the ones who carry babies, so biologically they're more selective. But on dating apps, this becomes extreme. Men swipe right on almost everyone and get barely any matches. Women get overwhelmed with matches and become even more selective. The whole system is designed to keep you swiping, not to actually help you find someone. Men are being rejected at unprecedented rates, which creates a cycle of desperation and loneliness. The friendship recession. But it's not just romantic loneliness. Men are struggling with friendship too. Americans are in a friendship recession, and men are being hit the hardest. Men have been socialized to believe that strength, dominance, and stoicism are what define a real man. Being vulnerable, showing emotions, admitting you need connection, these are all seen as weakness. You have to be vulnerable to make friends. You have to open up. But men are terrified to do this, even with their closest friends, because they've been taught their whole lives that emotions are for women. The result? Men are isolated, depressed, and have no one to talk to. Economic factors matter. Men are dropping out of college like never before. Women are now out-earning men in many demographics. The wealth inequality is worse than it was during the Gilded Age. People are working harder and longer, but wages have been stagnant for decades. When men can't afford housing, can't get good jobs, can't see a path forward, they feel purposeless. A lot of men's value, whether we like it or not, comes from being providers. If they have nobody to provide for and no stable career, they spiral. A man will crawl through broken glass for a purpose, but when there's no purpose to be found, he gives up. The culture war made it worse. When men express loneliness or struggle, they're often met with hostility. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Just be a better person. Stop being entitled. Maybe you're just not a good person. The same people who rightfully criticize bootstrap rhetoric for every other group suddenly use it when talking about men. When men say they're struggling, they're told to just show more emotions. But when they do show emotions, they're mocked. They're told their problems aren't real, that they're privileged, that they should figure it out themselves. Meanwhile, the culture constantly tells them they're part of the problem, that masculinity itself is toxic. Both political sides treat men as disposable. One side says, man up and figure it out. The other side says, you're oppressors, fix yourselves. Neither is actually helping. Neither is offering real solutions or compassion. Why figures like Andrew Tate exist? This is why controversial figures explode in popularity among young men. These figures, whether you agree with them or not,
are actually talking to men.
They're not lecturing them about privilege or telling them to become better feminists. They're saying, I see you struggling. I have answers. The advice might be terrible. The worldview might be toxic. But at least it's something. At least someone is acknowledging that men have problems and offering what looks like a solution. When one side offers purpose and the other offers criticism, is it really surprising which way men go? What actually needs to happen? Here's the reality. Men struggling don't want to be lectured about the patriarchy. They didn't build society. They're not Jeff Bezos. They're just regular people trying to survive in an increasingly difficult world. Solutions need to be practical, not political. Improve material conditions so young men can afford housing and education. Create spaces where men can build genuine friendships without fear of judgment. Acknowledge that loneliness is a real problem affecting everyone, not just something to dismiss. Stop treating men as political pawns. Stop telling them their problems aren't real. Share your thoughts in the comments below and let me know what you think. Start recognizing that when a huge portion of the population is isolated, depressed, and purposeless, that's a societal crisis that affects everyone. Male loneliness isn't just a men's problem, it's everyone's problem. And until we start treating it that way, it's only going to get worse.